In the journey of love, are you confronting a difficult question? Is this relationship still serving your well-being? This question is not just a passing thought, but a crucial crossroad that each of us may face at some point in our lives. Relationships, like everything else, are dynamic. They evolve, they change, and sometimes they may cease to serve us. But how do you know when that time has come? Let's delve into the often overlooked world of personal well-being within relationships. A healthy relationship should be a source of joy, support, and growth. It should make you feel loved, valued, and respected. But what happens when that's no longer the case? What happens when the love that once uplifted you now brings you down? Toxic relationships are more common than we'd like to admit. They can be subtle, gradual, often creeping into our lives unnoticed. It's not always dramatic arguments or visible tears. Sometimes it's the constant negativity, the emotional distress, the feeling of being drained rather than rejuvenated. It's when love starts to feel like a burden rather than a blessing. Consider this: is your relationship serving your well-being, or is it hindering it? Are you feeling nourished, or are you feeling depleted? Do you look forward to spending time with your partner, or do you find yourself constantly stressed and anxious? Understanding the impact of a toxic relationship on our personal well-being is the first step towards making a change. It's not about blame or guilt, but about recognizing where you stand and what you need. It's about asking yourself the hard questions and being brave enough to face the answers. When negativity becomes a constant companion, when emotional distress outweighs joy, it's a clear sign that the relationship may no longer be a source of support, but a hindrance to personal well-being. It's a sign that it may be time to reassess, to reflect, and possibly to step away. Remember, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to choose yourself, your happiness, and your well-being. Trust your instincts. If you consistently feel anxious, drained, or unsupported, it's crucial to acknowledge these feelings. This is more than just a mantra. It's a guiding principle when assessing the health of a relationship. Our instincts, those gut feelings, can often be our most trustworthy advisors, alerting us when something isn't quite right. In the labyrinth of love, our emotions can sometimes feel like a confusing maze. But one thing is clear: a relationship should not leave you feeling persistently anxious or drained. It's all right to have off days, even in the healthiest of relationships. But when these off days become the norm, it's time to take notice. Your instincts may whisper or they may shout, but their message is the same. If you're constantly feeling unsupported or emotionally exhausted, these are signs that something needs to change. Ignoring these feelings can lead to a path of self-neglect and diminished well-being. On the flip side, let's talk about what a healthy relationship looks like. It should be a source of joy, a beacon that lights up your life, even on the darkest days. It should inspire growth, encouraging you to blossom, to reach new heights and discover new aspects of yourself. It should provide a sense of security, a safe harbor where you feel loved, respected, and valued. But what if you're not feeling this joy, growth, or security? What if your instincts are signaling that something is amiss? In such cases, it's essential to respect these feelings. Remember, your emotions are valid and they deserve to be heard. It's not about blaming the other person or yourself. It's about recognizing that the relationship, in its current state, may not be serving your well-being. It's about having the courage to confront these feelings head-on, to engage in self-reflection, and to seek change if necessary. In conclusion, a healthy relationship should bring joy, growth, and a sense of security. Trust your instincts, honor your feelings, and never forget that you deserve a relationship that enriches your life, not one that depletes it. Acknowledge your worth and stand firm in your pursuit of happiness and well-being. Trust yourself, because you know what's best for you. Patterns of control or manipulation indicate a toxic dynamic. If you're constantly walking on eggshells, it's time to reassess the health of the relationship. Now let's delve deeper into what this means. Control and manipulation in a relationship can take many forms. It could be as subtle as someone always deciding where you'll eat or what movie you'll watch, or as overt as someone dictating who you can see and when. These patterns can be hard to recognize, especially when they're wrapped in sweet words or justified as concern for your well-being. What's more, these patterns can be insidious, creeping into your life so gradually that you hardly notice until you're deep in the thick of things. You might notice that you've stopped seeing friends or pursuing hobbies you once loved, not because you've lost interest, but because your partner disapproves or makes it difficult. Such dynamics can leave you feeling constantly on edge, as if you're walking on a tightrope, always trying to maintain balance to avoid displeasing your partner. This is no way to live. A relationship should be a source of support, not a cause of constant anxiety and fear. The impact on personal well-being can be profound. You may start to lose confidence, question your judgment, and even feel like a shadow of your former self. You may find yourself constantly drained emotionally and mentally as you navigate the minefield that the relationship has become. Remember, relationships are about mutual respect and equality. If your partner is controlling or manipulative, it's not a reflection of your worth, but a sign of their insecurities and need for dominance. It's crucial to recognize these signs and take steps to protect your well-being. Reach out to trusted friends or professionals for support. Stand up for yourself and set boundaries. It might be hard, but it's essential for your emotional health. Your safety and well-being should always be the top priority. You deserve a relationship that brings you joy, growth, and security, not one that keeps you on a constant roller coaster ride of anxiety and fear. Remember, you have the right to step away from any relationship that harms your well-being, because you are worth it. A lack of growth or personal fulfillment is a red flag. If the relationship stagnates, stifling personal development and aspirations, it's essential to question whether it aligns with your long-term happiness. In the grand tapestry of life, growth is a vital thread. It's what propels us forward, what shapes us into better versions of ourselves. The same principle applies to relationships. A relationship should be a nurturing ground for personal growth and fulfillment. It should encourage us to explore, to learn, to evolve. Yet what happens when that growth is stunted? When the relationship becomes a cage rather than a platform for expansion? It's here that we need to pause and reassess. A relationship that hinders your growth can lead to feelings of frustration, stagnation, and ultimately unhappiness. Consider your personal aspirations. Are they being nourished or neglected? Are you evolving as an individual, or does it feel like you're running in place? If you find yourself sacrificing your dreams and desires, it might be time to reevaluate the dynamics of your relationship. A lack of personal fulfillment can also be a telltale sign. Fulfillment is a sense of satisfaction that stems from achieving our goals and realizing our potential. It's that quiet sense of contentment that comes from knowing we are on the right path. If your relationship is leaving you feeling unfulfilled, it's worth asking why. Is it because your needs and desires are being overlooked, or because your ambitions and dreams are being sidelined? Whatever the reason, a lack of fulfillment can lead to a lingering sense of dissatisfaction and discontent. It's important to remember that you deserve a relationship that fuels your growth, not hinders it. A partnership that celebrates your successes, supports your ambitions, and encourages your personal development. It's equally crucial to acknowledge that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to step away from a situation that no longer serves our well-being. It's not about giving up. It's about realizing that you deserve more, that your happiness and growth are worth fighting for. So take a moment to reflect. Are you growing, or are you stagnating? Are you fulfilled, or are you yearning for more? It's essential to question whether it aligns with your long-term happiness. Open communication is key. If efforts to address concerns and communicate effectively continually fail, it may be an indication that the relationship is no longer a healthy and supportive partnership. Communication is like the heartbeat of a relationship. It's a lifeline that keeps us connected, understood, and valued. It's through sharing our thoughts, our fears, our dreams, and our feelings that we foster a deep, meaningful connection with our partner. But what happens when that communication breaks down, when our words fall on deaf ears or our fears are dismissed, when our needs are ignored or our feelings trivialized? It's like a ship adrift on a stormy sea with no compass to guide it home. It's in these moments that we need to pause and reflect. Is this relationship still serving us, or is it causing us more pain than joy? If the answer leans towards the latter, it may be an indication that the relationship is no longer a healthy and supportive partnership. When the negatives consistently outweigh the positives, it's time to reassess the relationship's value in your life. The equation of happiness can be complex, but it shouldn't be rooted in constant compromise or sacrifice. A relationship, while a significant part of your life, should not become the sole determinant of your happiness. It's about balance. It's about understanding that your personal well-being, your joy, and your peace of mind should never be compromised. Prioritizing happiness may seem daunting, especially when it involves letting go of a relationship that once meant the world to you. But remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else is more important. In this case, that something else is you. It's your happiness, your mental peace, your emotional stability. It's about taking a stand for your well-being even when it's hard. Ending a relationship is never easy, but it's a courageous step toward prioritizing your happiness and well-being.